and today I am here with...
Rob Dougherty, CEO of White Wizard Games.
Ooh, we got an important one. So can you tell me a bit about this game, Sorcerer?
Sorcerer, we kickstarted a while back, and we finally have finished copies of the game. Those are being shipped out to Kickstarter backers right now. We had a couple copies shipped up to the show so we could show them off to people. And Sorcerer is a fantasy horror card game meshed with a tabletop war game. So in Sorcerer, at the beginning of the game, each player creates their Sorcerer by picking one of the 4 character decks, combining it with one of the 4 lineage decks, and one of the 4 domain decks. Your character deck is who you are, your lineage is which evil god you are descended from and which type of magic it gives you, and your domain deck is where you've been training and gathering minions. You take the cover cards off of each of those, and then you shuffle the rest of the deck together. That's your deck for the game. And when you play the game, there are 3 battlefields that represent different parts of Victorian London. And when you play your minions, your followers, in the game, you have to pick which battlefield you play them in, and that's the area where they fight. And when they actually do fight, you roll dice to determine how much damage they do, and when they take damage, you use little damage counters on them. So it has some war game feeling elements with the dice rolling and the tracking of the damage and the various locations, and you have the ability to modify effects depending on where you choose to place various resources in the game. And it's got really gorgeous artwork, and this game's been in development for a very, very long time, and we're super excited about it.
It sounds great. You gave a great description of it too. I guess the only question I have to ask is if, for example, if I, a beginner, were about to go to play this game, would you have any advice to me as I'm starting?
So one of the great things about the game is you can so easily build a deck. So you just grab one of each of the 3 categories, there's because of the dice rolling in the combat, there's a lot of opportunity for comeback in the game. So basically, the advice I would give is not worry too much about any one of the battlefields, because there's 3 different battlefields. The goal of the game is to win 2 out of the 3. So if you find yourself losing badly in one of the battlefields, don't put too many resources into it. Just start worrying about the other 2 battlefields, so you can go ahead and lose that one, and you can come from behind by winning the other 2 battlefields. So basically, think about winning 2 of the 3, not worrying too much about any one of the individual battlefields.
This has some complex strategy, I can tell. I like it. Is there any takeaway moments that you have yourself from playing this game, any things that's really memorable to you?
So one of the great things about the game is you are constantly doing stuff. So in Sorcerer, the game's broken up into 3 phases. You got the ready phase where you're just getting your cards ready for the turn. Then there's the action phase and the battle phase. In the action phase, players go back and forth taking actions. So your actions are, you could play a card, you could draw cards from your deck, you could gain energy that you use to play cards later, or you could move guys around on the battlefields. And I'll take one of my 6 actions, and then you would take one of your 6 actions, and I take one of my actions, you take one of your actions. So you're never waiting through a long turn. You're constantly about to do something, You're about to take an action. And then the same thing when you move to the battle phase. You start with one of the battlefields, and in that battlefield, you attack with one of your guys, and I attack with one of my guys, and then you attack with one of your guys, back and forth. So you're constantly about to do stuff, and you're constantly making plays. So the game feels very quick and energetic, and you never have this sort of long wait period. So that sort of always about to go thing is one of the most memorable aspects of playing the game.
Great, thank you. That was amazing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.